Hello and welcome to Big Nim Numismatics. Today I'm going to be going over some show purchases and some book purchases from the A&A's summer seminar, so I hope you enjoy. First off is this 3-cent nickel. I don't do a lot with these. They seem rather under the radar. Design is pretty decent, especially for when they were struck. And you might be wondering if this is like a PL or a proof, and probably 90% of the 3-cent nickels or trickles, if you want to call them that, the proofs come very business-like. And so always want to check the fins, and honestly most of these you can tell just by the population reports. A lot of the mid-80s, late 70s, they're either only known in proof, or there's only 20 in MS that would be this nice. So this is a 66 CAC, great coin. Love the obverse. Overall, a very nice collector coin. The CAC 3-cent nickels jump way more than most coins, almost as much as gold. This one I'm not going to cover the grade. This is just a 1956 proof in a Rattler. No spots, which is excellent, especially a lot of times you'll get PVC in these OGH holders. And this is a Type 2. Type 1 has 4 wingtips to the left of the roost, and sometimes people get that mixed up, but the Type 1s are pretty much one solid wing, whereas the Type 2 like this, each one is separated. So that's kind of how I tell. And the Type 1s are a lot rarer than the price would indicate. I wouldn't be surprised if there's only a 20th of the mintage. Next up is another under the radar series. No one really collects shield nickels, but this one's stupendous. The shield nickel V nickels, if you've ever seen, they come pretty dull unless they're in a really nice 5-6 holder. And so this one is very outstanding, and it's not an 1883. 1883s are a bit boring. I mean, they're last year, they're the most common, and well, this one's a 64 plus and a blue holder. This would have been pretty close to when they started doing pluses. I do agree with the grade. The reverse just has a bit too much chatter for my liking as a 5, but the luster is just incredible for a shield nickel. Next, we will test the circulated ability. So I've really gotten into seeded dollars lately. It seems like they're a great deal, especially for the mintages, and overall rarity, especially as these were used a lot more than Morgan dollars, so they have a lot more history. This one is only a B of 25, pretty close to being graded within the last 3 months or so. Just a very wholesome coin. No rim dings, which is excellent, especially for a coin this size. Next, we have another trickle, this time in a fatty. This one's really nice. I actually like this more than the other. I find these are great value, especially with the mintages. You just have to get them a really high grade because as a nickel coinage with as much copper as there is inside, it does get very dull if left in the incorrect environment. So this is actually proof, if anyone was a bit confused. You can see the fin above of and going around. Fatties are probably the worst coins to tell because it hides the fins, but you can definitely see the bits of metal coming over the rim. Just really eye-appealing coin. And this is only about a $500 to $600 coin, and I'm not sure the mintage, but it's pretty low. I mean, it's a proof, so 1,000, and the mint state is probably, you know, not too much more. The final graded coin is actually a very nice coin that I was happy to snag. So we have this 1883 Morgan dollar, which does not have a mint mark, which already is a great sign. I mean, the Carson Cities and the San Francisco coins are extremely common. This coin is, I mean, it's a Morgan, so there's still a lot available, but in the grand scheme of Morgans, this is an incredible coin. Has great mirrors. You can see all the way almost a foot. And the surfaces are quite decent, if I may say so. If we can turn it sideways, I think it's a really nice 5. Very nice 5. Not a whole lot of chatter, not a whole lot of contact marks at all. And this is a dimple, so a lot of the contact marks bring up even more, but super reflective. Reverse is really nice. This is in a 5 holder, and this is a very early 4.0, so this would be pretty close to after they stopped the 3.0s with the gold embossed logo. This coin is pretty hard to price. All dimples are. You know, there are some, like the last 2 that have sold in NGC and PCGS have brought around $1,700 to $1,800. But there's also some NGC ones that go for over $2,200, and a lot of the nice CAC ones go close to $3,000. And there's a big jump between 5 and 6, but someone will really like this original coin. And finally, we have something some of you may have not seen or heard of before, but this is a tidy house. So Tidy House was a company that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, I don't think they did it in the 80s, but I'm not entirely sure, but they would give out these little cardboard things to advertise, to bring people in, bring business in, and they would put a Morgan dollar, usually an 81S, 850, and the really cool thing about these is they tone really well, and you'll see some really cool toners. So here, I'll have to get it wrong because the flip does not fit in the camera. But great luster. This is an 850. Color is really bright, very attractive as well. And this is very good even for Tidy House standards. Reverse is, I mean, definitely not as nice as the obverse, but it will do. It's a really nice coin. So overall, the coin purchases were great. This show was put together like last minute, as the regular normal 3-day show was canceled pretty close to when Summer Seminar was happening. But overall, very, very good show. Was very surprised, and some great coins even for such a, it was only like 20 dealers. So next up is the book purchases. So first off, I was able to get 2 PCGS population reports. For those of you who do not know, I'm trying to put together an entire online census, I guess, of a scanning of every single population report. They ended in 2006, December, or not December, well, somewhere late in 2006 is when they stopped. So 12 issues from 20 years, and big task, but it's a lot harder to find all of them, especially the earlier ones. So that will be interesting. Next is the bets book, and this is the go-to for all of the really early medals. And the story behind Betts is he was a historian, a numismatist, who was trying to put together a synopsis of all of U.S. colonial history, North American colonial history, through medals. But he died really early on, and so his brother and his father got together and finished the work for him. And this is the best work for all the medals. And finally, I got a lot of cheap annual reports from the director of the mints. Just something pretty cool. They were cheap. And I have a lot of the 1800s. And something I'd also like to do is put together a collection of the very first one up to, 1970s or so. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider liking and subscribing. And have a great day.